Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our Ready, Set, Goal webinar today. There will be a slight delay from the Google Hangouts to the YouTube channel, so just bear with us when we take questions. We'll give them a few minutes to load so that we can get you the information that you need. So what we're going to discuss today is how to successfully set up SMART goals for fitness and nutrition. We just did a couple of weeks ago a vision board party to really set the tone for 2015. So we answer the questions of what, why, and how. So what is our purpose? What do we see ourselves doing that makes us happy, that gives us enjoyment, fulfillment, and really display that in pictures and images. And we were able to make a canvas of that and really display what it is that makes us happy. What is our purpose? How do we get there? What steps are we going to need to do? And what people are we going to need to surround ourselves with, the environment? What social setting will make us successful to achieving those goals, and why is it that goal being accomplished going to make us happy, make us successful, or whatever that looks like to you. So once we answer those questions and we're able to display them on our boards, we just were able to put together some action steps to make sure that those things would come to fruition and we would be able to see them manifest themselves. So what we're going to talk about today is putting those action steps into a SMART goal. So we're going to pull up this slideshow for you so we can share our screens. We are on specific, stating clearly what you're trying to achieve. And this means that if you want to lose your weight, if you want to reduce high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you want to make those things clear, not just by simply stating, I want to be healthy or I want to get healthier for the new year. Be specific as to what healthy is to you and what it looks like to you. Measurable. How will you know you have achieved this goal or progress is being made? So your measurable aspect needs to have some kind of numeric data or be able to be quantified in numbers so that you know you've reached your target or reached your goal. So if this is weight loss, for instance, you might say, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 15 pounds, or I want to reduce my blood pressure to 120/80, which is a healthy, measurable blood pressure. So it needs to have a numeric value. So you know you've reached your target. So you've been specific, you've added some kind of numeric data so that you know you've reached your goal. And then to make it attainable. Is this goal realistic with effort and commitment? Attainable is such an important aspect of goal setting because we often have these dreams and fantasies in our minds where we would like to be, and then we don't have the right resources or circumstances or environment to do so, to make us successful at attaining those goals. So being realistic about what it is you'd like to attain with the amount of effort, commitment, resources that you have available will make this goal setting process much more realistic for you. So is your goal, ask yourself these questions. Is your goal dependent on anyone else? Is it possible to reframe your goal so only you are dependent upon? And what factors may prevent you from accomplishing your goal, especially around the holiday time, what we just finished up with, making weight loss a goal may not be as realistic and attainable as you would think with all of the distractions, the parties, the gatherings. If your discipline is not up to par with what your circumstances are, you may be setting yourself up for failure. So making sure the goals are attainable, again, asking yourself those questions will put things in perspective to make sure that you're setting up SMART goals. Now, realistic, why is it achieving this goal important to you, and what effect will achieving your goal have on your life? Is this a goal that is going to be a short-term or long-term goal? What values in your life does this goal affect, and what effect will achieving this goal have on your life? Thinking about your chronic disease conditions, reducing your cholesterol, reducing your blood pressure greatly decreases your risk factors for stroke, for heart attacks, cardiovascular disease. So these things are very, very important to put in perspective where you want to see yourself. When you're talking about having a goal that will maybe affect your family, maybe your child has type 2 diabetes, and changing your nutritional habits will either reduce their medication, maybe wean them off the medication, but these things can have implications not only on yourself, but on your family. So again, specific, what are you clearly stating you'd like to achieve? Measurable, adding a numeric value to it so you know progress is being made. Attainable, with good effort and commitment and the circumstances to achieve the goal. And then making it realistic. Why is it important to you? What will the goal effects have on your life and your family? And then lastly, timely. When will you reach your goal? It has got to have an end date. You can't say, I want to be healthy and leave it at that. Well, when will that be? Because we'll procrastinate, we'll put it off, other things will come up. It may not be priority, but it makes it a priority once you have a time limit on it. So those things are all of the components of making your goals SMART. So with that being said, how do we then transfer a SMART goal into fitness, a SMART goal into nutrition? Very simply put, for fitness, we're going to follow the FIT principle, another acronym. Oh, here's a little quiz question. If I want to lose 10 pounds by February 28th of 2015 by exercising 3 times a week for 30 minutes and following a 2,000 calorie meal plan, is that a SMART goal? Yes or no? So I'll just check and see if you guys can send me an answer in our chat box. Okay, I have one person that says yes. And the answer, I'll give you a few minutes, is no. That is not actually a SMART goal. 10 pounds in essentially 2 months, if we started from the beginning of January, by only exercising 3 times a week for 30 minutes and following a 2,000 calorie meal plan will not afford you a 10-pound weight loss. One, taking in consideration that you're already on a 2,000 calorie meal plan, that's the typical American. You haven't created a deficit so that you can lose those calories. And then two, exercising for only 30 minutes, and it really does depend on how much you weigh and what your age is to determine what the calorie burn for each activity will be. But let's just say for just an average person, about 150, 160 pounds, in 30 minutes, depending on the intensity of the activity, you may only be burning about 300 to 250 calories per session. So 250, at the best for 3 times a week is only about 700 calories. So if we're only burning about 700 calories for each session, and we only did 3 sessions, that's not going to get us to the 3,500 calories it takes to burn 1 pound. So no, this is not a SMART goal. All right. So how do we get there? Through our FIT principle. We've got to incorporate frequency, intensity, time, and type into the type of workouts we're going to incorporate into our fitness plan. And when you take into consideration your fitness plan, obviously you want to consult your physician first to make sure that you're working out in a safe and efficient manner. And you want to make sure that you're taking in consideration any prior or chronic injuries you may have. Setbacks such as injuries can definitely have an effect on, your training, your consistency, and staying motivated to stay on track. So you want to take those things into consideration when you choose the type of activity you will engage in. So how many times a week will you work out? The daily recommendations is that you're going to get in at least 150 minutes a week of exercise. So we need to do a little bit more than that in order to create this deficit so that we're losing weight, if that's your goal. If you want to maintain or you want to increase, then you'll have to do more. So with that being said, frequency is going to be determined by obviously your schedule, convenience, the time that you have allotted to do each session or workout is going to play a role into what you can do. So the typical weight loss plan is about 5 to 6 times per week. Now your duration, which is time, is going to be influenced by how much time you have left or how much time you can work out with family, career, other things that you have obligations to may take out the time that you would necessarily have set aside for working out. So intensity is a really, really important factor because a lot of people don't know how hard they're working out, if they're actually working out towards a goal. If you think you want to burn X amount of calories, how do you know that? Do you know how to take your heart rate? Do you know how to figure out what your range is so that you know you're working in the appropriate zone? If not, there's 2 simple solutions. One, you're going to have to learn how to take your pulse, and from your pulse rate, you'll be able to determine your heart rate. And then from there, you'll be able to figure out what your target heart rate zone is according to your age. Now, they've simplified it for us because we can now use use technology to just do the math for us. So there's different apps and heart rate monitors, watches that are on the market that will do all of this for you. So you can make sure you're having an effective workout by just looking at what your target heart rate range is. So how do you know what your target heart rate range is? There's a simple equation, not as accurate as the formula, but it still gives you a pretty good determination of where you should be. So you would do 220 minus your current age, and that will give you a number. That number is your maximum heart rate. So for instance, if I'm 35 years old and I subtract 35 from 220, that would be 185. So from that 185, I want to be anywhere between 50% of that number to 85% of that number. That's a target heart rate zone. Okay, so take 50% to 80%, and you're going to get 2 numbers. Those 2 numbers will give you your range for your target heart rate. So for a 35-year-old person that wanted to figure out their target heart rate zone for 50% to 85%, their heart rate would have to be between 93 and 157 beats per minute. And that will give them their heart rate zone. So when they're working out and they stop to take their pulse or they're looking at their watch for their heart rate, if they are above 157, they're working very, very hard. Their heart rate is very high, and they're going to be working in what we call a cardio zone. So your heart rate will increase at this point so that you're getting cardiovascular benefits, heart healthy benefits from your workout. If my heart rate while I'm working out is towards the lower end, 93, 105, 112, I'm working in what they call an anaerobic zone. So I'm working on my fat burning. I'm going to get fat burning benefits out of that targeted workout. So either you're in a fat burning zone or a cardio zone, higher end cardio, lower end fat burning. So you will be able to see if you're working out in a range that is going to afford you the benefits and results you're looking for. Time we already discussed. Typically, you're going to be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour for each session, depending on your day, depending on your schedule. You may have to break it up throughout the day. So 10, 10, and 10, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You may do 15 in the morning, 15 in the evening, 20 or 20, whatever works for you. Now, type would be a little bit different. There are several ways you can look at type, 7 categories that you can go with type. It's either going to be the actual activity you're engaged in. Is it running, walking, cycling, swimming, elliptical, yoga, the actual type of activity that will afford you different benefits? Or what system are you targeting? Is it going to be aerobic or anaerobic? Like I said, strength or cardio? Is it going to be HIIT? Is it going to be circuit? Is it going to be interval training? There are different types that will give you different benefits to these workouts. So you're going to have to determine which one is going to get you to your goal. So by following the FIT principle, frequency, intensity, time, and type, you can make sure that your fitness goals are attained by incorporating each simple principle. Okay, so it's frequency, intensity, time, and type. So make sure you have each one of those components in your workout plan. Here's another question. I will run for 30 minutes 3 times a week. My heart rate will stay in a range of 145 to 165 beats for 25 minutes of the workout. That was your scenario. So if this person is 35 years old, will they receive cardiovascular benefits from this training program? And the answer is absolutely. This is at the top tier end of their heart rate zone. They're actually working out at about 80 to 90% of their heart rate max at 145 to 165. So if they stay there for about 25 minutes, give or take 5 minutes for your warm up and your cool down, you will be receiving cardiovascular benefits from this training. Now, the older you are, the less your target heart rate zone will be lower, and the younger you are, your heart rate zone will be harder. Okay, or if you're more trained, your heart rate will be lower than someone who is untrained. Okay, so it's all about the math. You have to expend or burn more calories than you take in. Simple math. But if you don't know those numbers, how will you know where you're going and how far away you are from getting there? So taking the guesswork out of it by using different technologies such as those watches and those trackers will help you take out some of the work that you'll actually have to do to figure out, are you on track to meeting your goals? As stated before, it takes about 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound of fat. So just knowing or putting in perspective what that would actually look like, just doing fitness, if you wanted to burn 3,500 calories in just cardio, strength training, whatever kind of activity you were engaging in, I have a simple little chart here, and you can Google this and find out what activities or using your tracking data, what activities you're doing that will give you the best burn. Jumping rope for 1 hour. For 1 hour, you could burn up to 750 calories for a woman or 850 calories for a man. 1 hour spin class can afford you 800 to 1,000 calories if you're a 160-pound person. Swimming, and this is just lap swimming continuously, vigorously for 1 hour. That's 720 calories for a woman, 840 calories for a man. And again, it's going to be totally different from just taking an aqua class when you're just doing exercise in the water. We're talking about continuous lap swimming at a pretty vigorous pace. The elliptical, about 600 calories per hour. Running, about 600 calories per hour if you're at a pace at about 5.0. And that you can find easily on the treadmill, or if you have a watch or some kind of tracking device that will tell you your speed. Taking a yoga class is about 292 calories per hour. So to burn 3,500 calories to lose that 1 pound, you would have to jump rope for about 5 hours. Jumping rope for about 5 hours. to get to about 3,700 calories to that 1 pound. And again, this is just exercise. 5 hours of swimming, which is about 3,600 calories. 6 hours on the elliptical, that'll get you 3,600 calories. And again, 6 hours of running. So if we broke that up, what does that look like? That's 6 days a week for 1 hour. So going back to that initial scenario where that person only wanted to work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes, would that work? Absolutely not. 6 hours of running is going to get you at 5.0, remember, so which is a pretty decent pace. 6 hours of running, so 6 times a week for 1 hour. That's the kind of activity we're talking about. So now that we've got our math down and what it looks like, our target heart rate zone, so we can make sure that we're working out to benefit us and be as efficient as possible. We know how much calories we need to burn to get to our goal, whether it's 1 pound, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, to put it into perspective and break it down into small attainable goals. So how do we do it with nutrition? How do we apply a SMART goal setting with nutrition? Start with eating clean. Eating clean simply means try to stay away from processed foods, fast foods. Make sure that the foods that you are eating are fruits, fresh fruits and veggies. They can be frozen. We're trying to stay away from canned foods that have increased sodium content in it. Definitely trying to stay away from fried and fatty foods. We try to stick to fish, chicken, or turkey when we're talking about lean meats. And then in moderation, if you have to have it, your pork and your beef. Eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, making sure that we're eating a variety of colors. You see in that picture there, you've got reds, oranges, greens, yellows. Really mixing it up with your colors will ensure that you're getting multiple ways of antioxidants, multivitamins, and things like that through food intake and not just supplement. Limiting your sugars, cookies, cakes, baked goods, things like that, into your coffee, your tea, adding butter and things like that. You really want to limit those things. The saturated fat and the sugars is what will increase high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. So being mindful of those things and how much you are intaking will help you attain your goal a lot faster. My personal favorite, portion control. Many people think that, oh, I don't eat a lot or I barely eat. They're surviving off of 1 meal a day, and their body has actually adjusted to that, which is not always optimal because now your body is always in starvation mode. So instead of releasing what you're eating for energy, it's now going to hold on to and store it for fat. So eating less doesn't always attain to being slim or losing weight. You've got to be smart about it. And water does the body good. Obviously, our body is about 75% water. It thrives, lives, it nourishes off of water. So you want to make sure that you're consuming at least half your body weight in water each day. So that may be different for everybody depending on your weight. So incorporating these simple tools, getting your fruits and veggies in, cutting back on fried, fatty food, sugar, making sure that your portion controls are in moderation and that you're eating every couple of hours instead of waiting 6 to 8 hours between meals so that your body is already hungry and starving for some kind of intake. You're already supplying it with what it needs, so it never goes into that starvation mode. Okay? And journal for a few days. See what your caloric intake really looks like. You'd be surprised how those calories add up, even if you don't eat a lot all day. You'd be very surprised on how it adds up. So journal for a few days. Take the average of what you're eating. So let's say you did your journal for about 3 days and you saw that you were eating about 1,600 calories. Well, reduce that by 200 calories so that you can get down to about 500 calories by the end of the week. And then that will all add up by the end of the month or 2 months to whatever poundage you thought you want it to get down to. So if you do 500 calories a day, you'll be down 3,500 calories by the end of the week. And 3,500 calories is 1 pound. So that simple math, going back to the math, this is how you get to your goals. If you're dealing with chronic disease issues like blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, you want to make sure that you're targeting whatever it is your health outcome. So maybe looking at the labels, reducing your sodium intake for blood pressure, looking at your saturated fat intake to reduce your cholesterol, looking at your sugar and carbohydrate intake to control your diabetes. Those things are SMART goals to attain whatever it is, the goals that you have set out for yourself. Don't go crazy with dieting and trying to decrease your calories lower than 1,100. Definitely nothing lower than 1,000. Your body needs energy. It needs fuel. And the fuel is the food that you eat. So as long as you're eating clean, you don't have to worry about calories that will attack either weight management or your chronic diseases because it's already healthy food. Adopt a healthy lifestyle and not a diet. Diets come and go. If you stick to it for 3 months and then you fall off the wagon, guess what? Everything that you worked so hard for is coming back, and it's coming back then some. Okay, you ever heard the experience where someone's lost 50 pounds and then by the end of the year they've gained back 50 plus 20 more? It's got to become a lifestyle. So that's why I want you to start with small goals every single week to focus on rather than trying to get rid of everything all at once. It'll make it more what? Attainable. All right. So we've discussed what a SMART fitness plan looks like, a SMART nutrition plan looks like, and then we put it all together. A new SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, will look like this. I will lose 10 pounds by February 28th by exercising 5 to 6 times per week for 60 minutes and eating a 1,500 calorie meal plan. So for your fitness goal, things you want to think of, again, are what's my target heart rate zone? So I know I'm working efficiently to meet my goals. I will resistance train 3 times per week. Every 2 weeks, I will change my type of cardiovascular activity. And the reason why I put this in there is because your body is very smart and it will adjust and adapt to the responses you put on it. So you need to change it up, shock the body to produce change. So whatever it is, if you've been on the elliptical for 2 weeks, now you want to bump it up to the treadmill, or you want to bump it up to the Stairmaster, or you want to go for a run, or you want to incorporate spin. Every 2 weeks, keep your body guessing, change it up. And you want to do the same with food. If you've been following, maybe eating chicken for 2 weeks, let's switch it up to fish. Let's switch it up to turkey. Keep your body guessing so it does not get adaptable to what you've been doing so that it doesn't work as hard to get to those goals. So for nutrition, these are just some examples of what you might focus on. Maybe week 1, you're focusing on getting in half your body weight of water in every single day so that you're not stretched all over the place and trying to get rid of everything at once. Just focus on one thing. So week 1 will be your water. Week 2, maybe you want to get rid of, your white rice, white bread, the white potatoes, things like that. And you move on to whole grain, whole wheat, multi-grain type products. Week 3, you want to increase your veggie servings, maybe adding a salad in one of your meals every day, making sure that your veggies are colorful and not always just green. And then maybe week 4, you give yourself enough time to kind of create this healthy lifestyle. And now you want to start limiting your sugar, maybe using different additives for your coffee or your tea or things that you might increase your sugar. Definitely trying to limit those snacks that are high in sugar. Choosing healthier snacks like fruits and veggies to limit your sugar will help. So again, taking small goals will add up to your big accomplishments. So again, this is what a SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely plan would look like for both fitness and nutrition. So thank you. Thank you very much for giving me your time. I know we ran a little bit over, but I want you to stay connected with us through our website, through any of our social media outlets. We've got a great lineup of activities this month. If you can join us at the MLK Drum Run on the 17th or the Hot Chocolate 515K on the 25th, we'd love to see you there. Join our team. We've already started our Get Fit, Stay Fit Champions, and we're starting with a Steps and Miles Challenge. The program is only $20 a month. There is no contract. And, try it out. Stay engaged, motivated, and educated through this program. We coach you. We have tons of interaction with you, fun prizes and rewards that go along with it to help you stay motivated. But most of all, it's about incorporating a lifestyle. We know how, we stick for a plan for a little bit, but then come a year later, we're back to where we started. So let's do it together. I will take questions now. And you just let me know what you'd like to know more about, or you can email me at dlmyers@lswfitness.com, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I will check let's see, because there's a bit of a delay in where let's see if there's any questions on the YouTube channel. Okay, great. I don't see any questions, so I'm guessing I did a pretty fabulous job. Again, you can contact me at dlmyers@lswfitness.com, and we look forward to seeing you in a healthier and more productive new year.